Hello and I welcome all of you to our very special PFMP success journey with Mr. Usman Ahmed Chaudhary from Australia. So he recently passed the PFMP exam with all very good above target on 5th of October. He started the journey with us on 25th of July. He was part of our PFMP batch 3. We submitted his application on 26th of July. In one day it was accepted and he was the fastest person in my batch 3 group whose panel review was passed on 1st of August. In 2 days his application got past the panel review. It was the fastest in our thing, and then he continued with our classes, but because of the time difference he was studying with us, and then in 2 months and 10 days exactly on 5th of October he is certified PFMP with all above target with excellent score. So first of all, congratulations, Mr. Osman, on this wonderful achievement. And now up to you how you want to describe your journey with us in this period of time.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. First of all, it was a very interesting journey, and it all happened because of your efforts, actually, not mine. You pushed me all the way along, and you supported me all the way. Um, but to start with, this journey actually started, as you mentioned, few months ago, 2 months. And before that, me and one of my friend, we were discussing that we should go with the PFMP and what should we do? And you were recommended. This was my first experience with you. And one of my friend, he already engaged you, and he did PGMP with you, and PGMP with you. So you were highly recommended, and I think that that he was right. So we started we discussed with you, and you mentioned that there is a batch 3 coming in, and then we waited for a couple of weeks, and then we started our journey. As you mentioned, that it was a time difference with Australia and with Dubai. There was like 8-9 hours difference, and our classes were in the middle of the night as per the Australian time. But then all the recordings, we had a look at all the recordings on the very next day. And the best part about the classes is that you took very slow in the beginning, that this is a PFMP, this is the structure. Um, and well, I should first explain about the application process. That
Mm.
was even more, I think, challenging compared to PFMP. It looked like more challenging to me because I was never engaged in any of the certification in the past where we had to write this, long application, and there was a massive, a turnaround of the time, and there is a panel review. So first of all, I think you helped me in the application that took around, I think, 1 week or 10 days, somewhere
Yes,
around that.
10 to 2 weeks.
Um, yeah, we had a chat almost every day. You assigned me some tasks based upon our discussion, that what is my experience, what I am doing. And we tailored the application, we prepared the application. And day by day, I think the best part about the application was that we divided the application into 5 or 6 sections, and we came up with a plan that, all right, let's do one section each day, or
Mm.
one section every 2 days. Um, it was all because of your guidance, actually, that the reviewer could not pass any comments. He just said that this is the best application, and let's just not go into panel review further. And then he cleared it. Uh, and it was, as you mentioned, cleared in around 4 or 5 days. Um, and in the meantime, we continued with our daily workshops, daily classes. I was going through all the presentations. I was going through all the recordings. The best part about that was that you took very slow in the beginning, and so that gave ample time for everyone to come up, with their questions, for their understandings. And then later on, after every portion of the PFMP chapters, we did our some questions, along the way, that gives, further clarity, and the notes actually you prepared, and some of the some of the important things you mentioned during the class that actually stuck in my mind.
Mm,
I still remember few things, for example, the PfMP, this is a major difference between the PfMP and the PMP and the PGMP.
mm,
And realistically, I was having a chat with my one of my colleague yesterday on risk management, and we were discussing about the risk management on the portfolio level because we actually on our work we have a risk workshop every month on the portfolio level,
mhm,
and it was mentioned that is our company actually performing about the PFMP principles.
mm,
And it was literally discussed. And this is the same thing you mentioned in the class that the major difference between the PGMP and the PFMP and the PMP is that on the portfolio level, we do not try to eliminate all the risks. We need to
mm.
balance the risks.
Right.
And how you and if any risk is impacting the portfolio level, it has to be eliminated or removed from the program or the project. It's a portfolio manager's responsibility. So kind of these things that really helped me and that really stuck in my mind. Starting from our classes, PFMP, as I mentioned, the slides were very organized. Only the important information was there. It was very catchy with all the descriptions, with all the pictures also. That was very catchy. So that you definitely remain engaged in those classes and in those presentations. Usually it is a perception that the project management from PMI, yeah, like PMP or PGMP or PFMP looks like it's a very dry subject. If you
Mm,
start reading the PMI books, you get lost, in basically in after 2 or 3 days time. Um, but then I think the way you prepared the whole course and you structured in a way that was very engaging. So it was very good. At the end of each chapter, we went through all the questions, the sample questions. That gives us, sufficient time. I think we did like 30 questions per session
yes.
as an exercise. So that was very good. 30 questions in 1 hour. That gives sufficient time to understand the question, to argue, to ask. And you were always helpful. Whenever we had any questions in the class, offline, I messaged you a lot of time on WhatsApp, here and there. You were like available all the time. I don't know when you sleep, but you were available all the time, and that was really helpful. At the end of the classes, we also covered the fourth edition. That was also very helpful. That gives further clarity that what is the difference between the third edition and the fourth edition. Now, I think the exam perhaps is going to slightly change into the fourth edition in the next few months. So that gives us, further direction and further further clarity. Um, yeah, I think, and then the best part at the end was the mocks. You have a significant amount of questions in as mocks and practice exams. That was the last nail, that you hit. So that really helped us. We practiced multiple times as per your recommendation and guidance. You prepared actually the study plan for us. Now all the classes have been done. You have done all of these mocks, or all of these questions, this many times. Now for the next, step, we have to perform, these mocks at this frequency and at this time, and we had to monitor the scores. We were actually sharing all of our scores and of the mock exams with you, and then you were guiding us through the whole process. At the next step should be go for that mock or go for this mock or repeat that or repeat this. So that was really encouraging. That gives me a lot of confidence also that it's all going good. I remember during the first round of mocks, the score was not very good.
Mm,
You mentioned that don't worry about it. Just keep going as per my study plan, as per your recommended study plan. And I went, and then when I repeated my mocks, my score was significantly improved by, I think in the first round it was like 60-70%, but in the second round it was 80%. I thought I was not prepared, but then in the second round it looked like I am on the right journey.
mm,
and then you continued with that. You said that, all right, next step is this. So in my opinion, your study plan is one of the best, and you have actually prepared a very good study plan that actually helped me a lot.
Good. Thank you very much, Mr. Usman, for a great summary. So now we go into a bit of a detailed one. While you were studying the chapter-wise questions and the mocks, and then we take you to the simulator to attempt that one. How important was it to first do on the PDF so that you have no time pressure to understand the concept, grasp it, and then go to the simulator? How was it approach beneficial or not for you?
No, it was really beneficial. So when we were doing on the PDFs, I actually had a lot of time to spend on the question.
Mm,
There is a timer on the simulator, 1 minute or 2 minutes. So that was not in the mind. I knew that if I need to spend 5 minutes on one question, there is nothing stopping me. I can actually spend 5 minutes on time. So because in the first round of questions on the PDF, sometimes I had to refer back to the slides, refer
mm,
back to the to your lectures, refer back to the recordings, that what did you describe here? What is the intent of that when I was practicing? So that really helped me to understand the principles of the PFMP, and that actually helped me to grasp all the concepts. Later, when we completed or conducted those questions on the simulator, then the second element was the time. So that was helpful. So I think 1 minute time was sufficient for the questions because I was like half prepared already for that. So that is, I think that is a good approach that first take out, the time factor from your mind so you can focus on the actual content, and you can focus on the PDFs where you have actually written the explanation for each, and
mm,
the elimination techniques we also use, that why we didn't only focus, I think in your explanation, you didn't only focus on the right answer. We
mm.
we also discussed that the other three options, why they are not, the best options or the right options. So that was really, really good. That was helpful.
Very good. And how relevant are the coaching calls when you now I'm going to relate some preparation with the exam, because only attempting the question will not help unless you know why it is the answer and how to read the question, and that we cover in the coaching calls. So how would you rate these coaching calls?
Oh, that is 10 by 10. Definitely. That coaching call was the main thing. When we were studying all the chapter wise, presentations and, the lectures and sessions, you keep understanding, the concepts behind that. But the coaching calls is actually when you put it into the practice.
Mm,
Basically, once there is a question on the screen and you read it and you gave us sufficient time, like 1 or 2 minutes, that I started to think, that all right, I studied this in that chapter or this chapter, and then I came up with the answer. And then in the coaching calls, you explained again that, why this is the right question, sorry, why this is the right answer and why this is not the right answer. And in the coaching calls, we again refer back to the slides also. So that I think those coaching calls are the best approach. And anyone who is preparing, for the PFMP, I think the coaching calls are the best. And again, in those coaching calls, we did not speed up things.
mm.
We took sufficient time, 30 minutes, 30 questions, I think, roughly we did in
Yes.
one coaching call. And I think that was one of the best things for the whole of this journey, that coaching calls. And some of the questions were repeated, from here and there, but
Mm,
but that gives you, further clarity also. And so coaching calls, I think my success, one key success factor, for all of this PFMP was the coaching calls. I haven't told you, but I have seen actually the coaching calls recordings for a lot of times. That actually helped me. Even I was practicing after the coaching calls. I referred back to coaching calls,
mm,
few times that, all right, this was discussed. And again, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of things, stuck in my mind because you were saying something on a screen. You
mm.
were saying something, you were explaining it. So that, that really helped me.
Very good. So now we come to the exam day. How was your experience? How do you manage the time? What was the startup? Because you went to the exam center after a long time. I think because PMP, you were. We will come back to the PMP story later on.
Yeah.
You attempted from the house. So when you went to the center, how was the feeling and how did you manage everything around you?
So that was an interesting experience. I went to the center, and I remember you called me the night before the exam.
Mm,
And one day before the exam also, that that's done. No more study now. You have to take a rest.
mm,
You have to calm your nerves. You are fully prepared, and now you can go for the exam. And that actually helped me um, because it feels like there is someone who is backing you up, who is telling you, that gives you a comfort and confidence that I am ready. Because to be honest, on before the exam day, you personally feel you are never ready, but
mm,
you are ready. There is someone watching you and helping you. So yes, as per your recommendation, I slept early, and the my exam was at 8 a.m. in the morning. It's around 45 minutes drive from my home. I booked the exam on Sunday morning. Usually there is a lot of traffic in Melbourne on the weekdays, but Sunday morning we booked especially because we didn't want to stuck in the traffic. So I went over there. They inducted me with the test center, and then I within like 10 or 15 minutes I was on the exam chair. I was in a front of a screen and laptop, sorry, the screen and mouse and keyboard,
mm,
and they gave me this paper and pen, and then I said that, all right, now this is the time. And I remembered one thing. You told me that there will be a 5 minute and 7 minutes. Their
tutorials.
PFMP exam induction will be
Mm,
there, introduction. So do not rush into things. Take this time. If you have some notes, if you think you need to write something for the exam, just take some notes. Or if you are ready, then again, just stay over there, look at the screen, and calm your nerves,
mm,
and then start from there. So I use that approach, and I then started the exam. First question, I said that, all right, this is not difficult. This is, I can do that. And then I went on attempting all the questions. I personally think 170 questions into 40 minutes is around, just over a minute for each question. I think that is more than sufficient if you are well prepared. We did a lot of, mocks, and we did a lot of practice questions. So I was prepared for that. So I think exam time is more than sufficient.
so in how much time did you finish the exam?
Well, I finished my, well, kept on attempting all the questions. There were few questions I marked for the review
Mm,
during my exam. I think I marked around 32 questions, roughly.
okay.
And at the end, there were some, mathematical questions also, probably 6 to 8 mathematical questions. So on
Okay.
some of the questions, I spent more time compared to the others, but
Mm,
and I took a break also in between. I took a break when I finished my 100th question,
okay.
approximately. So I took a break, and when I finished all of my 170, well, I took another break also. I think
Mm,
sorry, I kept on going. I finished my 170 questions,
mm,
and that was around, I think the timer was 97 minutes left still.
oh, good.
So that was 170 questions. So I said that, all right, okay, I have done all the questions. Let's take a break again. So I
Mm,
again took a break for 5, 7 minutes, went outside, have a cup of, water,
mm,
just, walked around here and there for 2, 3 minutes. And then because I needed to take a break, because I needed to now refocus on reviewing my questions, which were marked for review.
mm,
So I came back. I then started to re-review my questions. And then I realized that, all right, why I marked this question for review? Because
mm,
this is a simple answer. Maybe the reason is that maybe I was just in the flow, and maybe you lose focus sometimes,
mm,
so that is why. So I then re-reviewed all of them, and then in the second, basically in first round of review, I then attempted or removed the review for marking for around 25 questions. So the
Okay.
second round of review, it was around for me 10 or 9 questions, and then I spent very calmly another 7-8 minutes, that these are my right answers. So I finished that. When I finished all of my questions with all of the review, the time left was around 60 minutes.
1 6.
No, no, 60,
Okay.
60
6 0.
minutes, 1 hour.
Okay.
One
1 hour.
hour
Okay.
was still
Okay.
remaining. 57 or 60,
Okay.
somewhere
Uh-huh.
around that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I said that, all right, I have done all of these things, all of it. Now let's take a break again. I didn't go outside. I just sat on the chair for 2-3 minutes. And then I said, all right, let's just start from the scratch. Let's see, what I have done. There
Okay.
is no need to re-review third time, but let's
Mm-hmm.
just, do it. And then, I went for the re-review for another, 25-30 minutes.
Okay.
And I especially went for some of the mathematical questions that, all right, let's just check again. Because some of those questions, may be tricky. They always try to trick you. Um, and then, I finished whole of my exam with 2 rounds of review, with another satisfaction review, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, it was like, 30 minutes left. And then when I pressed the click button, they said, congratulations. I said, oh, okay, that's good.
Well done.
That was a very big relief. And then, I
No,
came
very
out.
good. It was all the hard work. So, how do you relate the questions in the exam as compared to the practice mocks that we had done? We did at the end. We did real, advanced, Google Forms, and also the yellow ones. So, which one were the most relevant? And what was your feeling while you were attempting the exam? Were you feeling it's the same mock I am doing similar, or what was your feeling in these 3 hours of the exam?
So it was actually, I was feeling it's almost the same mocks we are doing. That was, the questions were very relevant,
Mm,
especially from the real and the advanced mocks. I would say it will be 60 to 75% questions, from the mocks.
mm,
Maybe more than that. But they were very, very relevant. Some of the questions I really didn't need to spend more than 10 seconds,
mm,
because I said that, all right, I have done that,
mm,
few times. There
right.
is no need to re-review or to think about that. And then, though those were very, very relevant, yellow mocks, I remember those were very interesting based upon all the scenarios.
Mm,
So those were really helpful. Google Forms, yes, you modified some of the wordings over there, so that was really helpful to understand the PMI language. So those mocks actually prepared me for the exam. Um, and I would say 60 to 70 to 85, 80% of the questions were same over there. So that I was like, I'm prepared. So
So
just
you
click on the
did.
next one.
So because of so extensive practice, you didn't get any stress in the exam because most of the students who are not well prepared with the time pressure, they collapse in the exam. So practice makes a man's perfect. So that was a real thing for you.
100%. Because when I was doing and another good part I would say is that when you start, because it is a 170 questions, 4 hours with no break, it looks scary.
Hmm,
And why it looks scary, I actually discussed with my general manager, like a month ago, yeah,
hmm,
because I told him that I'm doing the PfMP and one of my other friends. So I told him, and he's on a coffee break here and there. He kept asking me, what's happening? What's, are you going to an exam, or is it like, you have to write some paper or something?
hmm,
I said, no, I have to go for an exam. He said that, all right, how long is the exam? I said, it's 174 hours. He said, really? That's very long. How you can do that?
hmm,
I said, all right, we are preparing for that. So I think when we started our journey with you, it looked scary, but then I think you structured the questions in the way that, all right, you started with the form with the way that, all right, let's do 30 questions, in our daily classes, and then the mocks, lot of mocks actually, like real and advanced mocks, they are divided into two portions,
hmm,
85 questions. There is a time limit also, but that time limit is more than sufficient. So that 85 questions, that helped me to build up my stamina for 170 questions. So if you are just preparing for the exam and 170 questions in one go, for the very first time, it looked scary. But
Mm,
then we started from 30 questions in one session, then, 85, and then, sometimes some mocks have more than 85, someone, some has 100, that actually built my stamina.
mm,
And not just the stamina, also then the time factor, and because of repeated mocks exercises, time factor was removed from my head. I was very confident
mm,
before the exam that I can complete all of my exam, and then 4 hours is more than sufficient. And that helped me. I remember when I went for the last exam for PMP, or any other one. um, those are a lot of questions. And
mm,
I remember that, I was like, can I, do it all in one go? Can't I do it? But here I was prepared, and especially 85 questions. That was a benchmark that, all right, 85 questions. I have been doing it for, last 2, 3 weeks.
mm.
All right, okay, that's not, difficult. Let's just, take a break here. Although I went up to 100, but let's take a break here and then let's do it again. So I think that's a good way.
So it means that it's also mind game, not only theoretical knowledge, but also the mind game, how you manage the time, how you accommodate yourself in that environment. This is also very important. Same is for PGMP and same is for PFMP.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think it is more of a mind game. 20-30% in whole of this journey is mind game. You have
Mm,
to convince yourself that you are prepared for that.
mm,
And this 170 questions in one go, it's not scary. It looks scary, it
mm,
looks difficult, but it's not. If you are prepared, you can easily do that. There is lot of, time. Even if you are stuck on one or two questions, and if you want to spend some time, you can just mark it for the review, or just do not attempt it even if you want to move forward. I am pretty confident, and I can assure you, you will have a lot of time at the end to spend 5 minutes on one question, also like mathematical or anyone if you want to think about it. So time, I think you prepared us very good, very well in advance to, for the exam. So psychologically, I think we will well
mm.
prepared, and thanks to you for your, in the structured way,
Right.
proper
Thank you.
preparation. Yeah.
And one thing now about the magic grid, because we asked not to read the standard books, we have the slides, but I gave you 16 pages magic grid. How
Yeah.
relevant will you feel is it for the preparation in this 2.5 months and also for the exam day?
That was very, very important. If I read the book for a couple of days, and to be honest, in the beginning, it didn't make any sense to me.
Mm,
Then I went back again to Magic Grid, and then we started from, I started to understand everything. And on the very day, first day, you explained that this is a magic grade, and that magic grade is basically the summary. There were a lot of questions on the magic grade, and
mm,
the way you have prepared the magic grade in colorful way, and with the separate columns, that this is the defining phase, this is the aligning, this is that, and then all the domains separately. So that gives you a very good idea about how comparative they are with each other, because
mm,
PFMP, there are a lot of processes that are happening at the same time. Yeah, and then how one process integrate to the other, how the input of one goes into
mm,
the output of one into the input of the others, and how they are, happening at the same time. That Magic Grid gives a lot of information on that. And every day we were looking at Magic Grids. And to be honest, by looking at every day on the Magic Grid, a lot of things actually, stuck in your mind also, that, all right, okay, I remember that,
mm.
this process was there in that, in that metrics. Similarly, we had ecos also. So
Yes.
that ecos also were very, the Magic Grid was really, really helpful to remember for the ecos and to understand the ecos, and to make a sense out of it. So that was also very, very helpful. So I would say Magic Grid is one of the best part about presentations, and Magic Grids, those were the best parts about learning journey.
Right. And how relevant were the eco in the exam? Did you find some direct questions or indirect questions from the eco?
Well, there were some indirect questions.
Mm,
I was hoping that we will get a lot of eco questions,
mm.
but there were not a lot of eco questions. I remember it was not more than two or three.
Okay.
Maybe something has changed recently, but I could not find a lot of eco questions. There were only few. I think one or two was direct eco questions,
Okay.
and I think one or two was slightly indirect, where he tricks you, with some of the scenario, and then
Mm.
chuck the eco in. But I think majority of the questions were scenario based, and through processes and inputs, outputs, and some mathematical. Eco ones were very, I think four or
Mm.
five only, cannot be more than that.
Okay. Now, before we conclude, how did you maintain your consistency in this 2.5 months? Because we had 37 live classes there. You were watching the coaching calls, you were watching the videos. How did you keep your focus? No, I have to do every day this step, because in PMI, especially PGMP and PFMP, consistency is the key. That is a summary from all the students. What was in your case? How do you motivate yourself to do every day something?
So first of all, if you think about PFMP, it's a portfolio management. It is one of the elite
Mm.
certification in the PMI. So first impression you get is that it must be very difficult. There is a
Mm.
lot of content we need to cover. So first feel is how I will do that. But then on the very first day, I remember you explained that we will divide our whole content into multiple sections. There are five domains, basically five chapters, for example,
Mm.
and we will, go, slowly and steadily. And I think that really helped me. So the content you covered in every day class, I think that you can easily cover on a daily basis. Even I remember that because I'm full-time working also, and I have a family also. So
Mm.
sometimes you have to give time to them also. There is some urgent things at work comes up also. So I remember at some points I was lagging behind.
Mm.
But then on weekend or on some day, I sat down for 2, 3 hours and I recovered, all of my remaining classes. So I think the way you have structured that helped me. Plus, because we were taking it slow, I was actually enjoying it. I was understanding how the PFMP works, and I was trying to implement it in my work also. That all
Mm.
right, here is a gap. I'm not doing this right as per the PMI practices. So that actually gave me more consistency. And then at the end of each, 2 or 3 or 4, 2 to 3 day classes, we did some of the questions also.
Mm.
So that was a good motivation, and that helped me with the consistency that I have learned these, 5 items in the last 2 to 3 days. Now I am going to put it into the practice in the form of the questions.
Mm.
And that actually motivated me and make it very consistent for me. So it was not overwhelming. It was not like all classes, someone is saying something on the screen,
Mm.
it is all dry. So you lose focus after some days. But no, we took like breaks, mini breaks, that all right, let's just
Mm.
do questions every 3 or 4 days. So
Mm.
that's a break from from the slides. So you
Right.
put your learning into the exercise. So that was, I think, that's a good part about making everything consistent.
Oh, no, that's a very, very good point, that not only given the lectures, but lectures plus questions, then you also
Correct.
test yourself.
Yes.
In this one week, what I had done is giving this output.
Yeah.
And in our coaching success coaching system, follow up is the main theme. How important was the follow up for you? Because the whole journey lasted only 2 months, 10 days, exactly from 25th of July till 5th of October. So to doing, writing the application, getting it approved, doing all the chapter wise questions, then booking the exam and passing the PFMP, the biggest certification in the world, in 2 months, 10 days. How important was the follow up for you?
I I think that was a key factor. I am a guy basically when I get too involved in my job sometimes. Sometimes I get distracted from other things if there is any urgent thing at work.
Hmm.
Um, but I knew every day that I will get a message from some Sir Abdul Rahim that, all right, have you done this? Have you done that? Or if you are lagging behind, go with this, approach. So follow up is very, very important. I think on everyday basis, I think we had a chat
Mhm.
almost. You followed up, you prepared, mini packages for me that, all right, do this now as a next step, do this. Have you done that? Are you feeling any overwhelmed or are you feeling any difficulty? Let's discuss. And we had not only on just messages, I think we called a lot of times
Yes.
out of our normal classes. And we discussed that I'm having some problem with this or struggle with this, or this question is, bothering me. So I think follow up is like, there is someone, providing you guidance and pushing you that, all right, you can do it and you should do it. So it was, in summary, I felt like there is someone behind me, like pushing me that, all right, yes, you can do it. Let's do it together. Um, and um, and if that follow-up was not there, I'm pretty sure I will not be as PFMP certified.
No,
Just
it's very,
because, you followed up every day.
very good. So
That's the
sometimes this
difference.
follow-up gets worrisome for somebody, but in our experience, like the busy professionals like you need to have your mentor who is accountable for you, because we are
Yes.
accountable. So we also feel that we have to keep on pushing and move the track forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Definitely
thank you
agree.
very much, Mr. Usman. It has been a great pleasure working with you, guiding you and learning together. What will be your concluding remarks regarding our program, regarding your experience, and what will be your advice to all the other aspirants, especially in your group and others who will be watching your success story?
I think I think I will just say that whoever in my group is preparing for the PFMP, I would suggest that just follow Mr. Abdurrahim's structured the program what you have prepared, and also see coaching calls and just follow the path what you have prepared. And I think you can do it. You are well prepared. Just go for the mocks as per and in reality you don't have to overdo the mocks also. Just do as per Sir Abdul Rahim's, advice, and then I think it should be doable. For anyone who is thinking of PFMP examination, I would recommend he should reach out to you. In summary, your program has been developed in a very good way. That, as I mentioned earlier, that you do not feel overwhelmed also. Plus, you follow up, on a regular basis. That keeps you motivation. Um, and also the slides and, the magic grid and documents you have prepared, they are catchy. You feel engaged. So I think let's just not wait any further. Whoever out there listening that, if he or she wants to do the PFMP, let's just not wait any further.
Thank you very much,
Contact
Mr.
me.
Usman.
Contact me if you need Sir Abdul Rahim's contact details.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Usman. And he is Mr. Usman for all of you. He did PMP by his own. He is not PGMP certified, but he was interested in PFMP based on his experience. We guided him, we mentored him to become PFMP certified. So, Mr. Usman, I wish you best of luck for your future career and we always stay in contact. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.